Dong holders celebrate. Quiet redemption rollout start. Full VND exchange details here. Iraqi Dinar with intro for your channel RV News, written in paragraph form, without headings. Welcome back to RV News, your trusted destination for real-time intel, major updates, and behind-the-scenes insights on the revaluation of global currencies, especially the Vietnamese Dong VND and Iraqi Dinar IQD. If you're a currency holder, investor, or simply curious about the monumental changes happening in the financial world, you've tuned into the right place. Today, we bring you one of the most important, exciting developments for Dong holders everywhere. That's right. The long-anticipated quiet redemption rollout has officially started, and we have the full details you need to prepare, participate, and potentially prosper. There's no hype, no rumor, just verified steps, confirmed movement, and real updates happening now behind the curtain. Let's begin by acknowledging that for months, perhaps even years, Vietnamese Dong holders have waited patiently for news of revaluation and redemption. Many believed that the dinar would lead, with the Dong following closely behind. But now, in an unexpected twist, VND holders are finally seeing the first true steps toward their long-awaited moment. Over the last 72 hours, quiet reports have begun to surface from within tiered banking systems, particularly in private banking and wealth management departments. Across several international financial institutions, these reports confirm that selected groups of Dong holders, primarily Tier 3 and Tier 4A clients, have been contacted discreetly to begin the redemption process under non-disclosure terms. While this isn't the mass public rollout yet, it signals that the back-end mechanics are now moving, and the VND is very much alive in the revaluation pipeline. Multiple sources within the banking industry, especially from branches in major financial hubs such as Singapore, Zurich, and even certain U.S. regional banks, are noting increased VND exchange-related activity. Quiet appointments are being scheduled with individuals who hold verified, authenticated Dong notes, specifically those printed between 2003 and 2016. The key pattern emerging is that these redemptions are being facilitated under what are being referred to as project-linked liquidity opportunities, which is a code word often used in Tier 4A processing to ensure plausible deniability. These quiet rollouts are consistent with what many of our longtime listeners and viewers have known all along, that the RV will not be an overnight event, but a progressive rollout beginning with the least visible and ending with a public announcement. Now, let's talk about what's really happening behind the scenes. According to insiders involved in the early redemption rounds, the initial rates being offered for the Dong in these confidential settings are surprisingly favorable, ranging from $0.38 to as high as 50 cents, depending on the amount held, the authenticity of the note series, and the individual's connection to pre-approved lists or humanitarian project submissions. While these are not the final public rates, they do serve as a reliable benchmark. And here's something even more exciting. For those who have submitted verified humanitarian project outlines as part of their redemption documentation, there have been reports of special contract rates being approved that exceed the standard international rate expectations. That's a big deal. It means that Dong holders who prepared ahead of time and follow the protocols being quietly laid out now stand in the best position to benefit from this initial wave of exchanges. It's also important to highlight that this isn't just about the numbers. These exchanges are taking place under strict legal and procedural guidance. Those who are redeeming are required to sign NDA letters, provide KYC documentation, and pass tiered compliance checks. The redemption centers involved are not your everyday retail banks, but private locations that have been temporarily set up by financial intermediaries, working under Treasury or global compliance instructions. Most appointments are being carried out by invite only, but the trend is clear. The Vietnamese Dong is now on the move, and the quiet rollout means that the broader exchange window may not be far behind. Now, many of you have been asking, when will Tier 4B, that's the general public including internet group holders, begin? The answer is that Tier 4B is being positioned carefully. Bank sources suggest that depending on the successful conclusion of the current batch of redemptions happening right now, we could see Tier 4B notifications go out within the next 7 to 12 days. That includes email instructions, exchange location, directions, and possibly access to 800 series appointment setting numbers. The banking community is watching the early redemptions closely to ensure smooth handling, security verification, and digital onboarding of the new QFS Quantum Financial System account infrastructure. If no major issues arise in this phase, we're looking at an accelerated timeline for general redemption. One of the interesting elements in this new rollout is how little attention it's receiving in mainstream media. That's by design. The global financial system is undergoing a historic transition, but the powers that be are keen to prevent public panic, speculative chaos, or massive currency runs. So what we're witnessing is a controlled information flow, where only those who've been following the RV journey, preparing their documents, and maintaining awareness through reliable intel sources are truly in the know. This gives you, our RV News family, a huge advantage. You're not behind the curve, you're ahead of it. And if you've been holding your dong in anticipation, now is the time to review your paperwork, verify your node authenticity, and stay alert for appointment notifications. Let's also talk about the security protocols being implemented during these early VND redemptions. Every node is being scanned with UV light serial readers to prevent counterfeit circulation. Fingerprint biometric scans are being utilized for identity verification. And the new quantum account setup requires a multi-step authentication involving retina scans or secure private ledger access codes. This is not your everyday banking process. This is a digital onboarding to a post-fiat financial world. And the VND is serving as one of the primary currencies to test this integration globally. The entire redemption process, once initiated, is designed to be completed within 90 minutes, with funds expected to appear in QFS-aligned accounts within 24 to 48 hours, pending compliance clearance. That's lightning fast compared to traditional banking settlements, and gives us a glimpse into how efficient and secure the financial world will be post-RV. There's another point worth emphasizing: international alignment. Many of you have been asking whether this quiet rollout is isolated to the United States, or if other countries are participating. Based on verified reports, VND redemptions have now occurred in parts of Australia, Germany, and even limited cases in Canada. Certain regions in Asia are particularly active, with reports of early conversions facilitated through intermediary banks, working under Chinese regulatory observers. This underscores the coordinated nature of the rollout. The redemption isn't just a local banking event, it's a globally synchronized financial shift, tied to larger movements like BRICS integration, de-dollarization policies, and asset-backed currency restructuring. Let's zoom in briefly on rates. Although we mentioned a $0.3850 cents range earlier, new updates suggest that in some redemption centers tied to humanitarian submission tracks, even higher rates are being conditionally offered. These conditional offers depend on locking in funds for specific project timelines and agreeing to staged releases tied to milestone achievements. So while the average dong holder may receive a baseline public rate later, those in early redemptions who have demonstrated long-term planning are being rewarded with access to premium contract rates. This is how financial systems ensure both stability and social impact, by rewarding those who plan ahead. For those wondering how to prepare right now, here's your quick checklist. First, make sure your VND notes are clean, unaltered, and stored in non-static currency sleeves. Second, gather all your legal documents, including the forms of ID, proof of address, and if applicable, a project outline or humanitarian proposal. Even a 2-page summary is useful. Third, monitor your email inbox closely for any notifications from your currency groups, banks, or exchange organizations. And lastly, stay connected to trusted channels like RV News, where we decode real-time developments so you're never left in the dark. Let's now briefly touch on how this affects the dinar. While today's focus is the dong, we can't ignore that this quiet VND redemption rollout is also a signal that the IQD is not far behind. In fact, some sources believe that the dong was chosen to go first in these quiet redemptions to test the redemption infrastructure and compliance protocols before unleashing the larger IQD wave. That would make strategic sense, considering the IQD volume is expected to be several times higher and could pose logistical challenges without proper testing. So if you're holding dinar and watching closely, know this: the progress being made with the dong is paving the way for a smoother, more structured dinar redemption experience. Now for a key point: taxation. There's been much speculation around whether VND redemptions will be taxed. While we are not legal advisors, the current indicators suggest that under the QFS structure and contract redemption pathways, the fund